Hi everyone, so today we are talking about the differences between our firm and our soft cables. So at Kollage we offer two different types of cables, both firm and soft, and we're going to start with the firm today. So as you can see, they hold their shape really nicely. They keep well defined. They're really lovely to work with when you're knitting in the round. It's also really nice because they do still have a little bit of flexibility, but they also can support the weight of heavier projects, say like if you're knitting a blanket or a thick sweater. But you can also try things on too because they hold that rigidity so nicely. And they are actually quite good still if you are using magic loop because they have a little bit of flexibility. In contrast, our soft cables, you can see how flexible they are, just how they're not holding their shape as firmly as our firm cables, pun intended, but they do allow you to work in tighter spaces, which is really lovely. So I find when I'm knitting with them, I do kind of a modified version of magic loop, but you can knit in much tighter spaces and you can pull them a little tighter. You can keep your stitches closer together, which is really lovely if you're knitting something like a sleeve or a small object. So these are a really good combination, but possibly one of the best combos when you're knitting in small spaces are our shorter tips with our soft cables. So in our interchangeable sets, we do have two different types of tips. We have our standard 5 to 5.5 inch length ones, and then we have our 3.5 inch length ones. So this first piece, I have the standard tips with the soft cable on. As you can see, it's created kind of a very nice modified magic loop, and I can just knit, keeping some stitches closer together, but I can kind of really enclose that circle that I'm knitting. So I'm just going to finish off this row here. You can see the stitches slide really nicely. Sometimes we have heard feedback that depending on the type of fiber content that your yarn is made out of, sometimes the stitches do get a little sticky. So we do always suggest maybe waxing them with like a piece of wax paper or soap just to kind of keep those stitches sliding. But the more you use them, the easier they will be to slide as well. So as you can see, you can kind of pull out, pinch the cable, and create a really nice version of magic loop. So that's our standard tips with our soft cable. It's really quite lovely. I am going to show you now, though, the best option for knitting in tight spaces, which are our 3.5 inch tips combined with our soft cable. So as you can see, it creates almost the same effect as if you're knitting on 3 DPNs. So you have very defined little spots. And because the tips are so much shorter, you can get into tighter circles than you could with our standard size needles, which is a really lovely option when you're knitting tight things. So thanks for watching.